Ladies and gentlemen, we got some basketball to talk. Actually, there was no hoops last night. We're just all previewing for tonight. Warriors, Grizzlies. And the big news here is, of course, Dennis Schroeder finds himself in a new home. And I would think he would look at this one as a decent little upgrade. Perhaps his big debut with Golden State is happening tonight, Chandler. How are you feeling about this for him?
I like it a lot. We always talk about maximizing these kind of budding stars that are aging a little bit, and it's exactly what the Warriors did here. Dennis Schroeder is having a career year. You can see he's averaging 18 points. He's being efficient. He's always had that explosive speed. He gets out in transition, which is exactly what the Warriors want to do. They want to play fast. They want to get out there. They want to launch a bunch of threes. So I think he's going to kind of create more opportunities, more wide open looks for the personnel that they have. Steph Curry and him should be a dynamic backcourt. I've always had some question marks on his character and you know, kind of locker room guy, but I can't see many people go into this situation, this organization, and ruffling any feathers. So I like it. Some people I see they call it a risk with kind of with the off the court issues, but I think this dude, personnel wise, talent wise, basketball wise, I think it's a perfect fit with just everything he does, the way he can complement all the shooting, the way he can get out in transition, create shots, play one-on-one basketball. I think it's a perfect fit. So I think it's one step closer to kind of maximizing and making the Warriors a little bit more of a contender than they were before this trade.
Do you have any hangups about it, Lou?
No, I have to agree with Chandler. I think he's going to fit in perfectly here with the style of play, the way that they go about business. You know, to speak to his character, Chandler, I played with him for 2 years. He's just not friendly. You know, that's it. That's the only thing I can tell you about Dennis Schroeder. He's just not a friendly guy. He's super competitive. Yeah, he's super competitive. Yeah, and he's just a hard-nosed. He's just a hard-nosed guy. That's just the way he goes about his business. So that can kind of rub people the wrong way. But he doesn't go out of his way to be a distraction or be anything like that. He's just tough, man. He just goes about his business how he likes to go about it. And I think that's going to be good for them. You know, that's going to be in the same vein as a Draymond Green when you talk about guys that are going to protect their teammates. Look at what he did for Ben Simmons earlier in the year when one of the fans said something about Ben. He was the first person to stick his neck out. That's the same thing that Draymond Green would do. They're the same type of guy. So to have them on the same team, the way that they're going to carry themselves with that type of attitude, I think this helps the Golden State Warriors in the long run. Basketball-wise, he's going to be able to get that ball up and down. He's one of those type of guys. He doesn't need the ball in his hands to be impactful. You know, as much as the Warriors, they play with backdoor cuts and moving without the ball and playing fast. I think he fits in perfectly here.
I think the fun part, too, is that we get a little Ja versus Steph. I mean, who doesn't want that? We had a whole night without basketball, and then you give us this fun matchup, Lou. Who's going to have a bigger night?
By the numbers, it's going to be Ja. You know, Ja's had a lot of success against the Warriors this year. He's averaged 22 points a game in their meetings so far this year, and Steph has only averaged 13 points a game for whatever reason against the Grizzlies this year. So by the number, I got to give it to Ja. He's had a better rhythm against these guys. As we're looking at these highlights, I've yet to see Steph Curry do any of these things. So, you know, tonight I got to give that edge to Ja today.
It's crazy because this matchup couldn't be any more different, right? It's a freak of nature, athletic, explosive, bouncy guard versus a nonstop, constant movement, greatest shooter of all time. So we're going to see a little bit of everything here. I guess both of these teams, they want to play fast. So we're going to see probably a lot of high flying action at the rim. We're going to see a lot of early and often threes. So I think Steph Curry will get hyped for this game, but I like Ja Morant as well. I got to go with Lou here. Ja Morant at home is much better. This team rallies at home. This team's starting to get healthy. They're starting to get their legs. They're starting to find their rhythm. I like Ja to come out and kind of protect home court tonight.
By the way, the Grizzlies are 18-9, and we all know sort of injuries all across the board, how people have fared. Are you surprised, Lou, that that's their record right now and they're sitting second in the West?
Yeah, because, you know, they're missing some of their main pieces. Even their young guy in Gigi Jackson, Jaren Jackson, you know, those are guys that they depended on to win basketball games for them to be out there, be healthy, and give them a lot of production. They haven't been available this year, but they've had other guys plug in and play and give them a lot of different good things on the offensive and the defensive end. You know, this is a team that's built on grit and grind. They like to grind games out. They're a great defensive team, great offensive team. And so they were able to weather the storm with all of the injuries and everything going on around their basketball team. So somewhat surprised, but they're rolling. They were a top 4, top 5 team when healthy, when Ja Morant was in the starting lineup. And now that he's back, he's been ahead of that snake, and they're still rolling.
Yeah, when you look at this team and you look how deep the Western Conference is too, it's really impressive, their record, considering the fact that Jaren Jackson's been their most consistent player, right? He's played like 25 of their 27 games. But then you look, you know, from Morant to Bane to Smart to Zach Edey, who kind of came out of the gates early as Rookie of the Year candidate. They've all missed so many games, and they're still finding ways to win games. So the rookie Jalen Wells has been terrific. Aldama has been unbelievable. And honestly, Scottie Pippen Jr., he's kind of found his role as this, you know, backup point guard, bona fide starting point guard in the NBA with his play this year. So all 3 of those guys that I didn't think they expected to get this much production, they're all averaging double figures. They're all available. They're all healthy. So those guys have really stepped up in the absence of their main guys. So you can tell this team can go deep. This team, it's next man up mentality. They've had guys in and out of the lineup all year long. We still haven't seen Gigi Jackson, who's a dear friend of the show, who's going to great year. So this is not a fluke. This team is deep. They're hard. They're coached well. Taylor Jenkins is one of the most underrated coaches in the league. So they're onto something here. When they're fully healthy, they are an absolute threat in the West.
I think most people are happy watching them play again. It's fun out there. We got another game out west. Ooh, 10 Eastern. Lakers.